Hey everyone, it's Phil Wade with Dalton Wade Real Estate Group, and this video is primarily for new agents, and it's in regards to getting listings. Listings are the best part of what we do. How do you get listings? And let me tell you why, before I get into that, why they're the best part of what we do. You can sell the listing, right, and you can be on vacation and get it sold because a buyer's agent can sell it for you and you can co-broke that listing. You don't even have to be here. You set that house up, put it on a lockbox, never go back again. That may be a little bit of an overstatement, but listings are really the best part of what we do. And there's another reason. From listings, you get buyers for free. Okay, you didn't have to pay Zillow or Realtor.com thousands of dollars to generate your buyers. You did it off your listings. How do you do that? Well, a few different ways. If you're going to put a sign out in front, you'd be surprised. People will call you off the sign. Internet leads. People are going to contact you as the listing agent that don't have an agent. Open houses. You're going to meet buyers, right? And then your first duty is to sell that house to that buyer or potential buyer. But from experience, 99% of the time, they're not going to be interested in that house, but you got to meet them. And as soon as you find out they're not interested, you're going to turn it around and you're going to try to get them as a buyer client. So that's why listings are important. Lisa's holding the phone here. Lisa, do you know what's better than listings?
What is better than listings, Phil?
Expensive listings. Here's why. If you have a $200,000 listing, you're meeting $200,000 buyers. If you have a $500,000 listing, you're meeting $500,000 buyers. It's the same work, right? It's no more difficult to sell a $500,000 house than a $200,000 house, but you get 2.5 times as much money. And you've also met, buyers that are looking in a different price point. And interesting enough, $200,000 buyers are sometimes harder, have credit issues, more difficult to work with than that $500,000 buyer. There is no FHA. They're typically conventional or cash. So expensive listings, they're very coveted, but, keep that in mind. So let's talk about a little bit about how you get listings. So the two main ways I found are for sale by owner. They're actively trying to sell their house by themselves. Why are they doing that? Well, they're doing that because they don't want to pay the commission. They somehow don't see the value, right? So you've got to kind of play into that by maybe giving them a little bit of a deal, right? Here's an example. He's been an agent at Dalton Wade for probably coming up on, 18, 20 months. He was with another brokerage. What made him leave? What made him leave was he went on a listing appointment with his mentor, and the homeowner, they got to the part where they talked about the commission, and the homeowner said, well, they said it's 6%. And the homeowner said, can you do anything for me? And the mentor said, it's 6%. And the homeowner said, can you do anything for me? And he said, no, he couldn't. And that was the end of the meeting. Didn't get the listing. Now, all they had to do was just give him a little bit of a break, and they would have got the listing. So in that agent's mind, getting nothing was better than getting something. In Phil's mind, and hopefully in your mind, getting something is better than getting nothing. Because again, it has that multiplier effect. You might be able to get additional buyer business from your listing. So Craigslist, Zillow, great signs, great sources of, for sale by owners. The RedX, Expresso Agent, they're all programs that generate phone numbers for sale by owners. We will provide you with scripts. You should be reviewing those scripts in conjunction with this video. For sale by owner scripts, what to tell them. And again, the main thing is they're selling their house themselves because they don't want to pay the commission. Some for sale by owners, you can tell them, oh, I will shampoo your dog, I will clean your house, I'll mow your lawn, and I'll charge you nothing, and they still won't give you the listing because they hate realtors. So those folks you can't get. But there's another group that is open to working with a realtor, and again, in terms of the commission, the more aggressive you can be, the better shot you've got maybe of picking up that listing. So for sale by owner, great source of possible listings. The other source is expired listings, withdrawn listings. Why do we like those? Because they've shown that they've tried to sell their house and for some reason they failed. Now you might say, well, how am I going to get that listing? Well, you have to tell them how you're going to help them, how you're going to do it better than the last agent who didn't do it. Maybe, you look at the expired listing and the photos are terrible. They were taken by the guy's camera phone at night and all the exposures are different. It just wasn't put together that well. So you're going to explain to that homeowner how you're going to fix their listing so that you have a better chance of getting it sold. And then again, we have scripts where we talk to, for expired and withdrawn listings. So you want to kind of review this in terms of, what you're going to say. I'm happy to role play with anybody who'd like to. I'll be the homeowner, you be the agent, so that you feel comfortable calling them. Now here's the thing. I like to call it a warm call, both with for sale by owner and expired listing, but it's really, it's a cold call because you don't know them, and it's not easy. And I get that, but you got to allocate so much time each day or so much time each week to call. Again, it's a numbers game. I had an agent. We were talking about this. She mentioned she had called 20 people and she didn't get anywhere with it, and she basically gave up. That's not enough people to call. You've got to, you will eventually find success if you call enough people. But most agents, again, think of a $300,000 home where you're going to get a commission, your side, never mind for the buyer's agent, but just your side, of 3%. That's $9,000. Okay, in $9,000, is that going to happen in 2 or 3 hours? Probably not. Are you in a job where you can make $2,000 an hour? That's not real estate. So you got to call many, many people, and you've got to do it in a systematic way. What's interesting, I'll give you one other example. I called a guy, his name was Joe. He had a $800,000 condo. I found him, he was on Craigslist, but he had it on the MLS, entry only, where they've paid a flat fee to be there. I called him probably 7 or 8 times over a 5-week period. Kept checking in. How's it going, Joe? I wanted his listing. How's it going? Eventually he gave me the listing. I sold it to somebody he had already met like 2 months ago, but I now had the listing. In that particular case, I didn't meet any buyers, I didn't get any buyer business out of it, but that's why I wanted that listing, for that multiplier effect. So you got to get good at calling FSBOs and calling expired and withdrawn listings. Again, I'm happy to role play, as I mentioned. Any questions anybody has, just let me know. Thanks for tuning in.